The Digimon card game is my favorite TCG. Whether it's running a deck of your favorite character, playing the best deck in the room to try and win, or just simply throwing some bulk together to have fun, there is something here for everybody. I myself somewhat competitively play, and after I qualified for nationals at a store regional, I figured I'd take the rest of the year to do a little challenge. I'll be starting out with 2 copies of the Fabled Waltz structure deck, and each week give myself $25 to spend on sealed product to hopefully make my deck better. No purchasing singles, no trading cards with friends, just me and hopefully some good cards that I need. Let's see just how far this deck can take me. Welcome to Sealed Only Digimon. And welcome back. Apologies in advance. I'm still getting used to my new microphone. Wow, how fancy. If you guys missed the last video, we actually won a week. We pivoted again. We opened a second Machinedramon from EX9, and so we went ahead and pivoted to it, and it did us particularly well. This week on Sealed Only, we're going to be opening more EX9 because, quite frankly, nothing else sounds interesting to open. We're kind of reaching the end game. I mean, now that we have a really good strategy in machines, the only thing that we can do is try to open more machines and more analog youths. So here I have an entry pack plus a winner pack here to add to our collection. So we'll start off with those guys. We get a Demi Vmon as our entry pack, and then our winner pack from last time is another Demi Vmon. So if we ever open 4 Rikas, the strategy's right there. We can definitely play it. Cool. 2 Demi Vmons. Awesome. They'll go over here, which is hidden under my face, which I am trying to be more cognizant of for this week. So in front of us, we have our 12 packs of EX9 for this week. Still can't find a good deal where I can get a box under 50 on TCG Player. That's what I'm trying to go for, even if I have to pay for a little extra for shipping. It ends up being a little bit better for us to open a full box. So we're using our LGS pricing. So let's go ahead and crack on into it. As you guys can see by the playmat that I'm using, I actually got top 32 at Nats. As you guys are watching this, I probably already put out a video kind of talking about my experience at Nats and talking about what deck that I used, mostly the latter. If it sounds like I'm uncertain about it, it's because I haven't recorded it yet. Karakuru and Mamemon. And I'm going to be recording that probably later today if I decide to do it. And if you guys don't see it, I'm probably just not going to do it. But I would love to talk at least about the deck that I decided to bring to Nationals, because I brought Crossheart, and I love that deck more than anything, and I, as you can see, got top 32 with it, so would love to be able to talk about more about my choices, and kind of, talk about it. So Digitamon, and oh hey, an Altar Mirai. This is really cool for our Puppets deck that we're totally not playing anymore. Jokes, like, I could probably pivot back to Puppets. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but I feel like machines are stronger. So if we end up opening maybe a second Kaguyamon, I will probably consider going back to it, but this is at least a very cool card to have. Very, very nice. We'll put her right there. But yeah, probably going to be hopefully having a video out by the time you guys are watching this, so definitely go check it out if it's there, and if it's not there, I'm sorry I lied to you. I didn't mean to. So let's go ahead and go into this. We got a Tanemon, Aizmon, Alekmon, Sunamon, Hanimon, Toropiamon, Palmon, Raremon, Kabuterimon, Negamon, Hydramon Ace, and oh shit, a third Analog Youth is fantastic. Exactly what we want to see. Both of our strategies that we're pivoting outside of Puppets, which is Chimera and Machines, really want to have a play set of this card, and so this puts us 1 card closer. 3 is infinitely better than 2 for a card this powerful, and 4 is of course the best that we could possibly get, but I'm happy walking away from this box with 3. Our last box that we opened had 0 copies in it, so having a copy of this is fantastic. Oh man, that makes me really excited. Outside of machines, I'm kind of just looking, if I can pull another Kaguyamon or 2, that'd be pretty swell. If I can pull, more Alter S's, that'd be cool, even though I assume that card is not as powerful anymore as people are thinking, because I think there was only like 2 or 3 copies of the deck in top 32 at Nationals in Dallas. Soundbird, Garu, Kuwaga, Karakuru. Sure. My 3rd copy of Alter S. That's awesome. That is our third copy total overall for the series. I, again, don't think that we can pivot to play an Omnimon deck. There are too many supers across too many sets to be able to make that worthwhile, to make it feasible even. So we're probably just going to hang out with what we got. But very funny that we opened it as I was talking about it. Giza, Hanny, Parasaur, Palmon, Suno, Koro, Ogre, File Island, Gabu, Devi, Hydra, Abato. Abatomon is technically still an option. If we do pull a fourth core, I could just give it a try if we're not like trying really hard. But it's like not the thing I'm like most looking for right now. Again, I need a second Metal Tyranno from the set, funny enough. That is one card that I just don't have access to yet. I only have access to one, I should say. A second one would make it a lot nicer to be able to do what I need, but it isn't by any means absolutely necessary for what we need for this box. So, oh my god, I just spoiled what's in the back, I think. I don't know actually what's back there. Put those guys up here. Eismon, Tauropiamon, Tanemon, Soundbird, Pomu, Toko, Tusk, Monochrome, Air, Nume, Analog Man, and another Abato. Not the right Abato that we need. Another core makes me think we could play it, but like again, I'm not like sweating to play that card. I think we have a bunch of really good decks right now that we're kind of floating between. And honestly, I think we're kind of approaching the end of this series, right? I mean, I'm opening EX9 to finish out a playset of a card for a deck that is fairly powerful right now. I am getting to the point where I feel I want a locals, right? It might be a little bit overconfident, but I am getting to the point where I feel like I can take this to a store regional and do not completely awfully. And the longer that I wait, you know, opening more cards, the more likely it is that this deck is power crabbed, or there's not necessarily power crabbed, but there's a deck that comes out that's better than it. So, hey, another Sagittarius mode. I think it's like our third or fourth copy of that card. I did mess around with making like a Sagittarius and Blitzgray deck that kind of like played out your free tamer to try and go into Alter S, and it just wasn't very good. The aces have to be a little bit weaker to try and compensate for some stuff there, and they're just not, because they're weaker, they just don't feel great. Tuskmon, Giza, Rare, Garu, Kabateri, Crest Garu, and hey, another Megadramon. That is our playset of that card. That card is so good, and I wish I had room to play it. I don't have room to play another Mega, I believe. As much as I would love to be able to play another Megadramon, I just do not believe that I have the space. Really, like I said, what I'm looking for is another Metal Tyranno, more machines. Oh, hey, a Color Border Eismon. In full transparency, probably not going to keep this. I'm probably going to give it to a friend who does enjoy Abatomon, so we will see. But I will put that up here with our cards. Bio, Nani, File Island, Agu, and ooh, Altart Sagittarius is gorgeous. This is a very pretty card. Who made this? Morishita. Interesting. This is a very pretty card. Again, this card is pretty solid. RIP to Gas. That deck would have loved this card, but is unfortunately gone for probably better. But you know, having this card around for whenever this series is eventually over is pretty solid for me. So who knows? Maybe I'll open EX5 and try to open some Wargaru X stuff. I'm not gonna do that. A terrible idea. Cool. So that's 2 of our 3 super or above slots. So this is our last pack also. We kind of just blitzed through these openings. So we have a Tokomon, Soundbird. I think out of this we have, on the other side of the box, we'll have, you know, 3 supers and, or yeah, 3 supers, a color border, and either an alt art or a secret. You know, not seeing the machine this week is kind of unfortunate, but just expect that I will be replacing one of the cards that's kind of bad with an Analog Youth. Hydramon is our rare, and our last card of the week, Edamon. All right. Not a bad opening. We are at the fun part, of course, where we are looking for a specific card, and so this week is just this. Having a playset of Megadramon in our rotation is really nice. This is definitely our playset of Sagittarius. I know we have like 2 or 3 Blitz or Alterus, so like that's cool. Having another Alterus is awesome, but like the main thing here is that we open another Analog Youth. In fact, let me do some editing. Let me go ahead and go grab that deck, and I will figure out what card we're swapping, because it's going to be pretty quick. We're just gonna go 1 for 1 for a card on our deck and figure out what we're cutting. So back in a sec. All right, and we're back. As you can see right in front of me, I'm just planning on swapping the Raidmon Ace with an Analog Youth. The Raidmon is good, but I don't think I need all 3 copies of it. But having the Analog Youth is actually really nice, of course. I've talked about its praises enough. Every time I played a game and I didn't see one of my 2 ofs, I was like, man, I really would love another Analog Youth. So that's our swap. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut on over to the games. See you guys later. And we've successfully finished our games. Unfortunately, this week we had a ton of extra people in the shop, so there wasn't a spot for me to set up my usual overhead camera rig, and I didn't have a backup on me, so we're flying with no video this week for our games. It'll be a little bit of a shorter video because of that, but such is the life. I have purchased a new tripod that I'm going to try using out, so it's going to actually capture not only the gameplay but also my hand. So we're going to try that a little bit and see if we prefer that over the overhead camera, and if we don't, that's totally fine. The tripod just lets me make it a little bit easier. So in the next video, you guys will be seeing that. However, this last week there were 16 players, so we were going in expecting 4 rounds. So our first round, we're playing machines again, as I showed last time, with one more Analog Youth. Should make things a little bit easier. Our first round is against Galaxy, and this is a matchup I wasn't expecting to be nearly as hard as it actually ended up being. All their blue level 5s say that my Machinedramon can't suspend, and if I can't attack and get my bonus effects and kind of chip away every turn, then what am I doing? I was never able to find a position where I could just kind of push advantage early, and Galaxy was kind of just able to outrace me and out-tempo me each time. To a point where I think they Crescimoned me 4 turns in a row with my Machinedramon that was kind of just sitting there. I was able to attack with my other stuff and get some stuff started, but they ended up also bottom decking it, and it was just a mess. Game 1 was fairly close and they got me, but game 2 was super duper close. I got them to deck out, but they unfortunately had all the pieces in their hand that they needed with an Apollomon plus a Grace Nova in hand to successfully defeat me. So we ended up actually losing our first set of the day. First time in a while that we've actually lost the first set, so I was a little bit disappointed going into round 2, but my opponent played really well, so I can't be all that mad. Round 2, we were actually up against somebody on Galactic. Galactimon, Themmon and friends, I guess. This matchup is really hard for Galacti because of the Mamemon, the metal Mame that I have access to. Being able to bottom deck a bunch of their cards, trash a bunch of their sources to get rid of their protection comes up pretty frequently. There were a lot of times where my Machinedramon was able to attempt to pop it with its one attacking. The Galacti's already suspended. I'm able to get rid of the DP plus inherits or force them to stick around, and then I was just able to play a Raremon to end my turn, and then bottom deck, and then bounce their Galacti to hand with the Raremon digivolving into X-Tyranno. There's not much to talk about. I was able to just kind of out-tempo my opponent the entire time. I ended up taking game 1 pretty well and game 2 as well. So we ended up walking away 2-0 from that set. And that takes us right into round 3, and we're playing against Lucemon. Lucemon's a deck I was really scared about, to be honest. Lucemon is a deck that is extremely powerful and kind of terrifies me with all of its new support. Being able to constantly loop itself with the new Lucemons when digivolving, being able to move itself forward, and then turning into any of the Lucemons, especially EX6, could prove to be a menace. The problem is for my opponent is that I was able to consistently just put him down to 1 memory and force him to only have the play to be able to get rid of my things. Notably in this matchup, all of their Lucemons that say you can delete your opponent can delete a Digimon. If this effect didn't delete, do this other thing. So even if you attempt to delete your Machinedramon and then say protect, they still get their bonus effect because it didn't actually successfully delete. So I always just had a random rookie or a random tamer lying around. By the time that the big guys were able to come out, it really didn't matter all that much to me. The Lucemon Satan mode, the new one from EX10, is actually pretty scary, trashing a card from the top of my security at the end of every turn, but so long as I was able to keep up a blocker, it didn't quite matter. Game 1 was really close. Game 2 was arguably even closer, but I was able to walk away 2-0. We had 16 players, so we should have played a 4th round, but we actually only ended up playing 3 because the down pair ended up losing, the person I lost to in round 1. So we ended up calling the tournament early because there was technically only 1 undefeated. And so I ended up getting 7th overall with a record of 2-1. So I did end up getting some packs. I would have loved to have played a 4th round and get a little bit of a better placement. I felt like Machinedramon was playing really well. It was just me that was off on it. But overall, I can't complain too much. 7th overall after losing round 1 is about expected, and there's only so much that I can do to mitigate that. And the best thing that I can do to mitigate that is be a better player. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do in the meantime. With that being said, though, feeling pretty good about how Machinedramon played. So sorry I couldn't show you guys the games. I do have backups in place now, so I should always be able to get some footage. I think that next time I am just going to record with the camera directly in front of me, just because it takes up a lot less space. It makes it a little bit easier to play. And so definitely let me know in the next video what you guys want to see. With that being said, I know that EX10 is out today, but I didn't really need anything for the series, so I didn't open it. I
really am just kind of going into EX9 trying to get one more analog youth and then maybe some more Machinedramons. But outside of that, the series is kind of coming to an end. I've made a very, very powerful deck. It's just a matter of me committing to an event that I want to take it to attempt to top with. I would love to see at least one more Machinedramon before then, maybe some Chaos Dramons if we want to get a little bit freaky with it. But we'll just have to wait and see, shall we? Next time, in 2 weeks, you guys will be seeing me. I will be playing this deck again, and I will more than likely be opening more EX9. If there's a different set you guys want to see me open instead, please leave a comment down below. If you guys watched through all this video, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. We're super close to 100 subs, which is not something I thought I'd be excited about, but like, gosh darn it, 100 subs is actually really cool. If you liked the video, please feel free to leave a like, leave a comment telling me what your favorite part about this video is, and which of the level 5s in Machinedramon is your favorite. I'm personally biased to Megadramon and always will be. That guy is just so cool. With that, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, have a wonderful day, and take it easy. See ya.